Is it a red flag if you're an adult who doesn't eat vegetables? I'm exactly the same as her, and it's definitely a red flag. It is a long-term health concern, but how that might impact on a relationship is more of your choice. Maybe it's hard to imagine cooking separate meals for the rest of our lives, honestly. Being a bit picky is fine, but eating no vegetables is not something I can really imagine. Not necessarily people can have complex relationships with food. Maybe she's never had them prepared properly. My husband is branded as a picky eater, but I then learned that his parents were and are terrible cooks. He dislikes bland, mushy, overcooked foods. Not exactly picky behavior. Sometimes it's a texture thing. Mint can be very strong to some people, especially if they are a super taster. Just some food for thought. Unless they have a good reason for it, I'd say so. Some people have legitimate sensory issues they'd rather not have. I wouldn't say I have legitimate issues, but a couple things I know taste good I won't eat because the texture is gross to me. Yet if I was told I'd win $100 if I ate them, I could. I just wouldn't choose voluntarily. If this person is just like, ooh, veggies, ick, boo, that's pretty immature, yes. There's lots of different veggies, and cooked well they don't taste anything alike. Maybe they and their family are terrible cooks though, and they just avoid them cause they've always had bland veggies and just need to try some good ones. Ooh, chronic malnourishment is just so hot. What a catch. I DK about red flag, but it's certainly not a healthy diet to have in the long term. Whether or not it presents an issue depends on how important your partner's health is to you, or how important being able to share a wide variety of foods is for you. Personally, I'm a vegetarian and love bonding with people through food. So I'd be pretty disappointed to find out I was dating someone who ate like that. There's no universal listing of red flags. What one person might consider a red flag might not bother another person in the slightest. I have a friend who isn't a big fan of veg. He eats them sometimes but would rather not. I think it's kinda weird, but I don't think it makes him immature or anything. Meanwhile, I'll eat half a cucumber for breakfast. People would probably think that's weird too, so hey. It is what it is. Being that picky when it's pickiness and not an actual physical issue like food allergies is often an eating disorder. Not all eating disorders are anorexia, but mentally they are equally damaging to the person who adheres to them. And no, having an eating disorder is not necessarily a sign of immaturity. A red flag is something that could be indicative of something else. Pushing her broccoli around her plate could have been a red flag that she might be a picky eater. Well, good news. She straight up told you she's a picky eater, so it's not a red flag. It's a personality trait. No mystery to solve. So now it's up to you if that trait is a deal breaker or not. Every single person in the world will have traits that some will see as deal breakers and others not. Entirely up to you. My wife is pretty amazing, but she is an extremely picky eater. I made the decision a long time ago that this was something I accepted about her. We cook some things together, some things alone, and whenever I'm craving something that she doesn't like, I'll order takeout or make plans with a friend. I won't police other people's diet, but it's probably a good idea to take a multivitamin if your normal eating doesn't center on balance, variety, and moderation. My dad eats a very limited selection of vegetables and is an absurdly picky eater. He's a good person, but it definitely impacts his health in a negative way. At a certain point, PPL should be experimenting different ways of cooking. I was a kind of picky child, but in adulthood I started to try new things in restaurants, at parties, And just in cooking itself. There's a reason most people at some point end up having a favorite green veggie. Or liking most veggies in general. It's because they tried it enough that they found a way they like it. This red flag would tell me that someone is either closed off or not open to newer experiences. Hi, non-veggie lover here. Been married 25 plus years and have 3 beautiful children who all eat a variety of vegetables. I grew up in the South where my grandma would sometimes just go in the backyard and pick dinner. I tried. I really did. I just couldn't get past texture and/or taste. My favorite line is, "You can't even taste it." Yes I can. Can I say how I wish I liked them? I have gone on an only veggie diet. Try them each time I make a new recipe. Pureed them, chopped them, etc. I really don't like them. Do you know what I would give to like salad? What an amazing dish. So now that I have lived half a century, I have decided I have given my time. I have also decided if some people don't like meat and won't eat it, I can do the same for vegetables. There are few people that like every food, but it seems more judgment is on vegetables than any other food group. As long as your date is okay with you eating whatever you want, let it go. Trust me when I say she is probably more upset with it than you are. ETA. Thanks for the award. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a red flag, because it really depends on the reasoning. Like they might be autistic and have pretty rigid preferences when it comes to food. In which case it's not a red flag whatsoever. But like let's say their reasoning is because they're one of those people that hates vegetarians and doesn't want to eat rabbit food. Then yes, it is a red flag. Basically you can't know it's a red flag until you know why. Went through some comments. Holy hell, y'all come out to some wild conclusions on people based on some food preference. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. It's hard to explain food aversions to someone who has none. I have a gene that makes all of the cabbage family taste bitter. I have a gene that makes cilantro taste of soap. Onions and garlic actually upset me though. Again, it's hard to explain. It's not a preference. It's like, imagine someone hid a maggot in all your food. It can't hurt you, can't make you sick, but to bite a maggot? It would make you cry. That's how food is for some people. Every meal from childhood was a goddamned mission. Success was getting through eating without becoming upset. So it really depends on how important food is to you. I could never date anyone who loved garlic, for example. I wouldn't call it a red flag though. It really depends on why they don't eat vegetables. For me, yes, BC, out of every single vegetables available, there isn't one she doesn't like. It's not very healthy either.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.